the design. We got our 3 numbers: low number, goal number, max number. The way we come up with these numbers is looking at cash flow and looking at how much you're already saving per month and recognizing your savings as an expense, putting it in your expenses, and then seeing what your cash flow is at the end of the month. Okay. With that being said, now let's take a look at these different infinite banking strategies. I'm pretty sure you've been, reading it right through. These are the most popular ones. I got 5 of them on the board here, and then I have the one that I'm doing personally. Okay. My strategy as it relates to infinite banking. Okay. This is what I do. I have a first position home equity line of credit where a majority of my income goes into. I have business income, I have personal income, okay? So that's why I say majority of my income. Not all of my business income is going into the HELOC. What's happening is I'm taking distributions and salary from my business to personal, and it directly gets deposited into the first lien HELOC. What does that do? That is automatically paying down the debt on my home in a very efficient way. And then what's happening is I save money, right? So I'm saving money. Saving money is a strategy in and of itself. It's a principle, it's a rule, it's a law that I implement in my household. My goal, I try to save at least 40% of my income every single year. So what's happening is my savings dollars does not sit in a high yield savings account. It's sitting parked in my first lien HELOC. Now that number ultimately amounts to about $110,000 a year is what I am saving into my first lien HELOC, parked, and then on the anniversary date of my 4 policies, I have 4 of them, 2 on myself, 1 on my fiance, 1 on my mom, right? I take that 110 throughout the year, different anniversary days. We got 4 different anniversary days of 4 different policies, right? That money will come out of the first lien HELOC and it pays for my policies. It contributes, it max funds. Every year I'm hitting the max number on all 4 of my policies. Every year I'm hitting the max number, right? Then what I do is once the policies are fully funded, I'm borrowing 2/3. I use my same rule for funding, for borrowing. I borrow 2/3 out of my policy. I might go slightly higher if it makes sense, but I'm borrowing 2/3 of the total amount of cash value that's getting dumped into those policies throughout the year, and I'm paying off debt and investing through value creation. I create value in the marketplace and I get paid abundantly for that. So what ends up happening is this value creation is a cash flow vehicle for me. What is value creation? That's me building a business that serves people, right? That's me getting licenses. That's me getting educated, training. That's me forming partnerships with other content creators online. And so what happens is that value creation through those dollars that I initially invested to my income, which then goes into the first lien HELOC, which then creates a rinse and repeat effect. It creates a nice, what I call cash flow, right? A flow of cash flow. This creates velocity of money. This creates velocity banking. These are the things that I teach on the YouTube channel, right? And where I'm saying pay off debt, well, paying off debt is an automation of me just parking money in the first lien HELOC. So it's like I'm automatically paying off debt faster than any other debt elimination strategy. And at the same time, I'm also investing through value creation after I've saved money, right? So I've saved money first in a whole life insurance contract. I'm protecting my human life value today. I'm ensuring that not only am I benefiting from having these life insurance policies, but my family will benefit and my unborn children's children will benefit from the work that I do today, which is, again, incomprehensible. How do you measure that? How do you measure the rate of return of leaving a legacy behind for your children's children, people that aren't even born yet? Isn't that insane? That's me thinking 100 years out. Many of us are thinking very, very small-minded, just about us, being very, very selfish. And we wonder why certain cultures continue to succeed while other cultures continue to fail, right? We wonder why we remain what's called a minority. We wonder why we get labeled minority, low income, right? This is where I start to get a little more passionate because I come from minority, low income, Puerto Rican, Colombian, right? That's my, say, culture, nationality. I'm a minority in the United States of America. Yet, with this education and knowledge I've been able to accumulate over the last decade of my life, I've been able to put myself from a minority, right, into a different type of minority, right? The minority here is high income level minority, where there is I'm in the top 10% of income earners in the United States of America. That's insane. To go from the bottom, minority, right, which technically that's where the majority of Americans live, paycheck to paycheck, less than $500 a month in their bank account. So going from there to now being in the top 10% of income earners, I'm in rooms I don't even belong in. I promise you. I walk in, I'm like, I'm the only one with this kind of skin tone. I'm like, dang, holy crap, these people got money. I got new money. These people got old money. They got generational money. Whoa, that's pretty cool. All right, so I get involved in these rooms. I ain't got no qualifications for it. 28 years old, as I mentioned. I'm in rooms. People have been doing this kind of thing for 20, 30, 40 years, building massive companies, being around multi-millionaires, even close to billionaires. I don't even know. Insane. How does that occur? You got to think long term. That's the only way that occurs. You got to think long term. You got to think beyond yourself. You think bigger than your own problems. How do I solve other people's problems? Right? You think massive, right? Put value behind it. You put purpose behind it. You put faith behind it, belief. Game changer stuff. Game changer stuff. So that's my strategy. This is what works for me. And I would say that in order for you to implement this kind of a strategy, you need to have this type of mentality of creating value in the marketplace so you feed the system. This system, I don't believe, will work on just a job. I believe you need to create value so that the system can continue to increase and it feeds itself, right? And then it creates a cash flow perpetuating system. That's why I like this particular strategy a lot. And honestly, this strategy is not really taught because it's still somewhat of a theory, right? Because I have personally never seen any other content creator explain this thoroughly, right? I have videos on my channel where I say velocity banking and infinite banking combined. I've never seen anyone on YouTube combine the two and break the math down fully. Never seen it. So therefore, it is a theory, right? Because it hasn't been successfully implemented for multiple decades, right? So therefore, with theory comes risk. What is the risk of this strategy? Risk number one is if my value creation doesn't create value and I don't get paid and my income goes down, which means less money goes into the HELOC, which means more interest is being paid on the HELOC, which might mean less money goes into the policies, which might mean I'm borrowing more than 2/3, which means I don't have as much money to invest in value creation and not as much money to pay down the debt. And all of a sudden, you've got too much owed on the policy and too much owed on the first lien HELOC. That can become a mess. That is the risk that I'm willing to take. I'm not saying that everyone should take that risk, but this is just me simply sharing with you what I do, right? Now, simplest strategy to most complicated, right? As it relates to infinite banking. One strategy here. This right here, in my opinion, is the most complicated strategy. This is very complicated. There's a lot of moving parts here. This is not a set and forget type of a strategy. This is active, right? Active. You need to be aware. You need to know your numbers. Very, very important. So that's most complicated. That's why that's at the top, and that's why that's my strategy, right? I'm a geek. I'm a nerd for this stuff, so I can do it. I can handle it, right?